That's cool. There's not a single fake mustache to be found in here. Superman Unbound, released in 2013 and is directed by James Tucker, who've also directed such projects like Vixen, Legion of Superheroes, Static Shock, and Batman Beyond. And this film is starring the voices of Matt Bomer, Stana Katic, John Noble, and Molly Quinn. Superman has engaged a strange robot that after the battle he discovers is a probe sent by some figure out there in the universe searching for something. So Superman leaves Earth to find out who sent this probe, and leaves his cousin who just arrived on Earth, Kara, otherwise known as Supergirl, in charge of keeping everyone safe. Well, in Superman's travels, he finds out that the source of the probe comes from a Kryptonian biotechnic superintelligence known as Brainiac, and he is obsessed with collecting all civilizations throughout the known universe so that he can gain all of the knowledge he possibly can from everything. Now Brainiac sets his sights on Earth, and it's up to Superman and Supergirl to save the day. And of course, this is not a bad time to release a Superman animated film in 2013. This came out in May of that year, and of course we all know that the following month we saw the release of Man of Steel, the whole Zack Snyderverse of the DCEU, even though that was never officially dubbed the name of the series, and they tried to get the whole live-action DC universe off the ground, which, you know, Warner Brothers fumbled, but now James Gunn and Peter Safran are developing it, and we're going to see a new Superman film next year, which makes me extremely happy. I think they are great creators, and it sounds like they are doing all of the appropriate things to properly set up an extended universe going forward. And I hope in that DCU that Safran and Gunn are creating that we get some type of adaptation of this film, because I think Brainiac is an amazing character that, for some reason, we have not seen in live action before. And I don't know why. Brainiac is the smartest being in the entire DC universe, and he would be a great character in live action. But we've just haven't seen him, and I pray that the sequel to Superman, or maybe in a Justice League film down the road, we get this type of story with Brainiac. Because I think the development of this version of Superman is awesome. He's the big blue Boy Scout, he's always trying to do the right thing, but you can also tell that he's fumbling and juggling his real life of being Clark Kent and his relationship with Lois Lane, and how he's trying to hide his identity, trying to be with her, but also not being with her in public, because then that would raise suspicion of him being Clark Kent, and Clark Kent being together with her doesn't really make sense in the whole culture and society that they're establishing at the Daily Planet. I just love this interpretation of Superman. It's nice to see a humorous Superman again, who's quirky and nerdy, but also controlling and authoritative. It's a great mix to see, and I think the voice of Matt Bomer is great for this. I hope that this is the type of version of Superman that we are getting in the new Superman film coming out next year. I don't know, just watching this movie just made me so excited for the live action one. But then I also like the story arc of Supergirl, and again, I hope that we get this version, or at least a version of this version of Supergirl in the live action films. I know we're getting Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which if you haven't read that whole graphic novel series, it is tremendous. The art is beautiful, the story is great. It's a great version of Kara, who kind of lets everything go and is a little bit lost, like she's drunk most of the time, and there are some tragic things that happen in that storyline that you go, oh, if I were you, girl, I would go out and I would murder every single person that did this to you. That's kind of the version that I'm getting with this version of Supergirl. She misses home. She was actually watching her entire culture and her friends and her family be lifted up and put into this small little jar for Brainiac to hold in his little storage unit. That's traumatizing. That is awful. And for her to be a grown woman seeing that and then coming into this new world that she doesn't really know about. Yes, her cousin Superman is here, so of course she's going to stay because she loves him, their family, but it's also just weird being here. I love to see her arc of her embracing the mantle of being Supergirl on this planet and the sacrifice that you think that's gonna happen with her. I was just really digging this story, and I was loving the versions of these characters that I hope we get to see in a live action film someday. I know I keep coming back to that, but God, I hope so. The only thing that irked me or that I wasn't completely sold on was the ending of this film. Brainiac is so smart, and if he hears everything and is absorbing everything, why then at that moment did he realize, oh, there's bacteria and there's germs everywhere, and now I can't unknow that fact? Like, he has some severe anxiety and some severe OCD, let's be honest here. It felt very much like the ending of War of the Worlds, which I was also kind of like, okay, your super intelligent alien race who sent spaceships and fleets to this planet to take over everything. You have these death rays that vaporize everyone who comes in contact with it, but yet you don't know that if you drink the water, the bacteria is going to kill you. Like, come on. You are so intelligent to a point. Well, I guess that's kind of true, I guess. But still, the ending here felt very cheesy to me. So if this story, if this graphic novel, which is based on Superman Brainiac, if this is adapted into a live-action version, maybe we can work out a better ending, or at least a more satisfying one, in my opinion. But until then, I know this was a standalone animated film. I know it wasn't too popular, at least not a lot of people were talking about it. At least as far as I knew, no one was talking about this film, but I gave it a chance, and I was extremely surprised. And I love this story, and I love this version of these characters, and if we're getting live-action versions of these characters, I hope it's this version, because I think this is a lot of fun. I'm going to give Superman Unbound 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, if you've seen Superman Unbound, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button to make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.